Are you looking for ways to simplify and grow your business? Do you struggle with knowing where to focus your energy for the best return? Or are you loving your business success and looking to stay ahead of the pack through innovation and inspiration? If you've answered yes to any of the following, keep listening because today's episode is sure to inspire you. But before we get started today, I wanted to share with you my free Marketing on a Page template. This easy-to-use template will have you understanding exactly where your business is headed and the exact tactics and steps that you need to take in order to achieve your goals and your vision. Download it today from holisticvision.com.au/strategy or head to the show notes for the link. Now for today's episode. Hi, Priya. Welcome to the Simple Marketing Solutions podcast. It's so great to have you here today. I wanted to find out a bit more about what natural philosophy was and actually what your role was in the business as well.
First of all, thank you, Meeta. You're doing a wonderful job with, kind of speaking with people who are budding as well, like budding entrepreneurs. It really helps to convey a lot more of the real journey, to people who are going to start out and who want to know how it works and what are the challenges we face.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy.
It's not easy, but it is not difficult and it is not impossible. Nothing is impossible.
Exactly.
That's what we will probably talk about. With natural philosophy, so we are a natural skincare brand operating right amongst our West Melbourne community. So we are based in Melbourne, in the western parts of Melbourne. How we started is we wanted to encourage a lot of people with realizing that they're naturally very beautiful. We wanted to take off the pressure of them, that dilemma that people have about looking good all the time. They are looking good when they're naturally, skin healthy. That's what we wanted to encourage. That's what we are about. Our products encourage and unveil was ancestral botanical knowledge because we wanted to be grounded to our roots. But it is unique because we kind of blend ancient Ayurveda. So I have an Indian background where I was born and brought up within the herbs that, Ayurveda is kind of nurtured with and your skin is nurtured with all that.
Exactly,
but it is not just India. It is all across the world. You have skin secrets all across the world. So we kind of did a bit of research into what every country uses, what people uses, what Australian, herbs were that have been coming out from generations. And we kind of blend them with modern ingredients. So we blend them with modern plant-based ingredients. That's what we do. And that's why our product is very unique because it is a blend of both. It is not just saying that we are only Ayurveda or we don't use modern plant-based. We kind of blend them together.
Which is great, to be able to use a variety of traditional ingredients and bring them together and create, a whole range from that. It's amazing. And I definitely would say, quite unique in the market.
Yeah. Why we call ourselves natural philosophy is natural is pretty obvious. We use natural ingredients. But our philosophy is at one of those brands who would like to connect with our customers. And we resonate with a lot of our customers through not just our natural products, but also our transparency. So, so we've kind of, even if you look at our social media, so we are on Instagram and Facebook and also our online website, how we started, how I got into a course, we started with a simple recipe from my mom's recipe, a skincare formulation recipe. That's how we started.
It's really special.
It is very close to my heart. And that's when we realized that, these are the tricks that actually work on skin. And those are like a true fact, a sure fact that it's going to work on you. That I got myself enrolled into a course just probably 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years
Okay.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was a long journey that we planned it, that, that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
We have so many men and women like myself, and my sister. So my sister started this journey with me.
Ah.
Uh, yeah, don't get time to actually uh, go into a nice skincare routine and regime and pamper ourselves.
Yeah.
Uh, so we kind of
Pause.
help them do simple tricks just in form of a
Mm-hmm.
bottle or a jar, with all
Mm.
the love from ancestors and stuff,
Yeah.
and bring it into reality. So
And so you
yeah,
said that your sister is part of the business as well.
yes,
So what role do you play then within the business?
yeah. So I am a co-founder of Natural Philosophy.
Okay.
So how we started in just a small kitchen. So me and my sister, we work together. So she is based in India, where she does natural philosophy in India, and
Okay.
I do natural philosophy in Australia. So we
Oh,
source,
wow.
yeah, it's a very different kind of a business
Yeah.
plan, where we source natural ingredients, but our
Mm-hmm.
formulas and everything are the same. So we cater
Mm.
to, we want to help small businesses and businesses which are local, is why we kind
Okay.
of source everything local, and plan everything local. So that's
Okay. Yeah. That's a
our,
great philosophy, actually. I like
yeah,
that.
it is. So because we started with a purpose, right? So
Mm.
we
Mm.
we truly believe that everyone is beautiful, and we do not want to change them, like, many brands. I wouldn't say any brand is bad, but a
No,
lot of brands just claim that they would change you, they would change your skin overnight and stuff. That's not going to happen. You have to get
exactly.
real.
Yeah.
You have to get real. You have to know that, these are the things which work long term. So it was a
Absolutely.
very, yeah, it was a very conscious decision on my part to opt for a more natural, holistic path,
Mm-hmm.
where I have experienced it myself, is when I got the confidence in bringing it out to the market. That's how I started.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And, I think that it's amazing to see the journey, that you've said that it's been something that you've been planning and thinking about for a long time. It's not just something that you just jumped in straight away and said, I'm just going to start right now. Because I think that is something that a lot of business owners don't realize, that when you want to start a business, it does take a plan. It does take organizing your thoughts and those ideas and having a purpose and understanding what that vision is and what your philosophy is going to be and what your values are in a business as well. So how did you go from having that idea and actually then launching the business? What was the process that you followed for that?
Yeah. So it is a very interesting story.
Yeah.
So I also work as a full-time construction estimator, so which is
Mm-hmm.
like a 180-degree apart kind of a thing.
Yeah, totally
Yeah,
different.
totally. So I'm not a very beauty person, you can say. So I'm not very good with my beauty treatments, and I don't go
Yeah.
to salons that often to do get all the pampering done, which is which
Yes.
is which is common with a lot of people,
Ah,
with a lot of busy people
yeah.
around the world. So they just mask them off with a lot of face care and kind of makeup, which is good, but you do need to tend to understand that your skin inside needs to breathe. And
Exactly.
that's what happened with me. So I just remember maybe 4 years ago when I started this journey, I had
Mhm.
62 bottles lying in my shelf from all the good brands and all the popular, non-popular, which I wanted to try. And they were all like, 3/4, 75% full, or maybe, I just had used it twice or thrice and it didn't work
Wow.
on me, and it was just lying in my shelf. And mind
Yeah.
you, they
Wow.
did not expire. They were all just good. And so
That's a
I,
lot of product.
yeah, and I threw them off. I literally threw them off,
Wow.
and
Okay.
I started using a simple recipe that my mom was after my life to try.
Okay.
Is when I realized that this is a miracle. This is actually
Mm.
working on me.
Hmm.
And that's how there are a lot of those kinds in the whole world where, there are a
Mm.
lot of secrets right coming right from Cleopatra's age where she used to use
Yeah,
saffron and, stuff like that. Um,
exactly.
yeah. And that's when I did enrolled myself into Diploma. I did a course
Okay.
for skincare formulation because
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it the wrong way. If
No,
I'm bringing it out to people, I need to know if I'm putting the right stuff in. Every quantity has to be perfect. Like you
absolutely.
can't,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't just rely on DIY guys, because
No.
essential oil, like people put a lot of essential oils and stuff. They do because they think it's really good,
Yeah,
but you
but
have to know
there's
dermal limits
the
of it. Yeah,
you do. Yeah, there's such a fine balance with that, and even when you're talking about natural ingredients, there's such a fine balance to the amount that you would need to use. From my personal experience as a naturopath, I give herbs internally for people. So dosage, I totally understand that it's so important to get it right. And you can't just think that you can mix something up for yourself and think that it's going to work. You might actually be doing more damage, right?
100%. So,
Mm.
like even for essential oils, you need to know the dermal limit. Your skin could get sensitized if you
Hmm.
don't know how much to use it.
Hmm.
Uh, is how I started, and I tried the
Okay.
products that I had an idea of what I want to do with a few of my friends and family,
Hmm. Okay.
and
Yeah.
the feed. So this was a long journey of like maybe a year of experiments and getting to know how I tweaked a lot of ingredients in them to know what actually
Yeah.
works for all types of skin as well. So it's not just uh, a typical type of skin that I worked on. So it was a
Okay.
lot of different countries that I have friends in, and a lot of
Yeah.
different types of people that I'm acquainted with. So they all
Yes.
helped me through the journey. So
Oh,
it's
that's
it's
so
yeah,
good.
yeah, it's a very collaborative effort, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Um,
lovely.
and that's how I grew.
Yeah. So that would have been your aha moment when you threw out those 63 bottles and thought, this is too much. I'm going back to basics and going to start my own thing and, take my mother's recipe and get that going. Which is amazing. It's those simple things that can really lead to the big thing, the big business idea in the end. So I guess then when you were putting that all into place and trying to understand how the product was going to work on all those different skin types, etc., before you even ventured into doing your course to understand the more intricate nature of skincare, how did you decide, well, okay, this is now going from being a hobby on my kitchen table to actually this has a solid foundation for a business that I could launch? How do you go from that? And what would you think would be,
The
what
right
would you
time.
say to people? Yeah, yeah. How do you go from taking it from a hobby to a business?
Yes. So, first of all, there is no right time to start a business. There will be no right time, guys.
Yeah,
You just have to jump in.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, you don't wait for the right time to start a business at all. But of course, you have to do your research well. Uh, that is 100%. So
Yes.
I'll probably have three questions for anyone who's listening to me today or will be listening
Hmm.
to this podcast
Yeah,
eventually.
please.
So the first one would be, uh, if you are running a business, do you know why you are running a business? Is my
Hmm.
first question. Uh,
Yeah.
if you have an answer for that, my second question would be, so if you are into a business, do you actually have a business plan?
Yeah.
So not many people actually have a business plan when they
Nobody.
venture into a business.
No. Yeah, I think it's probably one of the biggest downfalls in with small business owners is that they don't have a plan. So it's such an important element, and it's something that I work with all my clients. That's the foundation. Have the idea, but you need a plan.
Yeah,
So
you definitely need a plan. And the last question that I would like to ask people, where you will exactly know when you're differentiating between a hobby and a business. You have a business plan, right? But do you actually have a financial business plan? So that's the most important part of a business. Not just that, it's a lot of other factors that also kind of we'll probably talk about in a few things as we go along. But that's how we differentiate between a business and a hobby, I would say. So you definitely need to know how much you are investing in an idea, and whether you are going in the right direction. You will not know even at the start, but definitely whenever you feel you're ready to actually take the leap from what you're doing to you actually call it a business.
And you do need the proper foundation of your business plan, the financial plan, like you said, as well. And also, I think a big lesson for people to realize is that businesses take a bit of time to start up, and you might be in a full-time position right now and getting, X amount of dollars as your salary every month. Starting a business, you're not going to get that straight away. And I think people need to realize that there have to be short-term goals, long-term goals, and you have to just keep pushing through, because so many businesses, I think over 50% of businesses close within the first 5 years. And they're just at that point where it's going to turn for them, but they give up. So, you've been in business now for a couple of years. What do you think have been the biggest challenges that you've faced?
So the biggest challenge, I would say, has been time management for me. Being in a business and full-time work, and also family. So family is very important to me as well. So all these factors kind of need a balance, because when anyone starts, rather, not many people have the budget or the finance to outsource everything. You tend to do everything by yourself. You do a lot of cost cutting, and that eventually leads to a point where you're really exhausted, and you just need a saturation. You come to a saturation point.
Absolutely.
So that is something that I've learned, that I if I would have invested in a virtual assistant early in my business, it would have been better. But with God's grace, I have been good. I haven't had that saturation point. So,
that's good.
I feel you need to outsource what you're not good at. So I'm not good at tech. I'm good at the creative part. I'm good at the formulation part. So I have a website team who handles my website, my maintenance. If I have any issues with it, then we recently hired a social media manager. She's excellent. Her name is Jess. And she's actually a mother of 4, but manages time better than me. So
that's amazing.
It's amazing.
But it is important, like you said, you need to invest in those resources and outsource. Even if you are starting off, it doesn't mean that you have to, be spending thousands of dollars with other people. But those small things can definitely open up your time and give you the headspace to think more holistically about your business as well, and think more top level and be the creative at the top, rather than doing all the bookkeeping and the accounting and then the digital stuff. And like you said, looking after your website or doing all the social media, those things somebody else could do. And it definitely, have you found that that's helped you not only with your time, but being able to push the business further?
Yeah. So it's a matter of pick and choose, I would say. So
Yeah.
you have to realize how much are you investing so in those areas as well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to overdo it. Like when we started, we had a lot of collaborations done with people who were starting as well. You know,
Mm.
so we did
Yes.
a lot of research in who's kind of resonating with our thoughts, our design strategies, the
Yeah.
kind of look and feel that we want to go ahead with. So
Yeah.
there were budding people who entrepreneurs and business people who were, we kind of mutually help each other to grow.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
yeah, and they don't charge you for like a very hefty amount of stuff. They're good at their work, but they're starting, so they're ready to help you. It's just a matter of you to approach those people.
Yes. Have the
I
conversation.
correct,
Mm.
correct. So I feel all this leads to um, a basic value called mindset. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
just a matter of mindset that people have.
Yeah.
It that can change wonders for a business. It's a mindset of you actually stepping up and approaching people. Don't just sit and wait for people to come to you. You really need to
Yes.
go out and approach people for everything.
Yeah. No, yeah, and you're so right. We actually just did an episode recently where we had
Right.
Tanya talking about collaborations and partnerships and getting out there. And you've got nothing to lose, right? All they can
Correct.
say is no, but that means that you just go down to the next person on your list to ask for help or to ask to collaborate and grow your businesses together. But I like what you said, that it's important that you know what your values are and that they do align with those other companies as well, because that's really important as you both grow within your own businesses. Otherwise, if they don't match what your brand personality is and what you're really looking for, could end up not being the right fit, and that doesn't help either of the businesses as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. I agree with you. Like, for some people, it could get a bit overwhelming uh,
Mm,
with a lot of, outsourcing and a lot of people who approach them with social media, especially. It's a big time investment. So you just
yes,
have to realize how much of it do you want actually in your business, What type of
exactly.
what type of person would you like to work with? So yeah,
Yeah,
it really matters.
yeah. And I always tell my clients, it doesn't mean that you interview one person for that position, that you have to
Yeah.
hire that first person. Interview a few people, have conversations with several people before you make up your mind, because you'll refine the questions that you want to ask them and you'll get more information from every conversation that you have that will really set you up to making a decision that is the right one for you. And also, I don't know if you've had this experience in your business, but if you've chosen somebody to work with, it doesn't mean that you have to keep working with them forever. If it doesn't
Yeah.
feel right, have you noticed that you've been able to step aside from that and then move on to somebody else?
Yeah. I feel it's for me it's not been the case,
Oh,
fortunately.
good.
But I
That's
did have
fantastic.
yeah, but I did have experiences where I trusted on people and it didn't go the way that I wanted to.
Yes.
But I feel it's also communication, how you communicate
Mm-hmm.
those things across to the person. You have to realize in the starting days itself that it's not going to work. Let's not invest more time in it, because for that time is very precious for a business
Yeah.
or any person. So that is something you have to evaluate as you go. I think it's just a learning curve. For it's
Yeah.
been a learning curve for me, and yeah, for most of the people.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a learning curve. And, it's lessons that we take as we move forward with our business. I think that every one of those are just an amazing experience that we can learn so much from.
Yeah.
Um, and talking about that, what do you think? We've talked about the challenges that you've experienced. We've talked about time management, but for you, what have been the positive outcomes from launching this natural skincare brand?
So it's a tremendous growth that I have seen. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
because I work full time in construction as well, my journey has
Mm.
been a bit different from maybe another business, you know. So I've learned not to compare myself to any other business. My growth is my own journey. It's just made me a better person, a more positive person. So this is a tip that was given to me by my husband.
Yeah,
That the energy that you take with you to any market or any business is contagious. So
I love
whenever you
that.
go, yeah, it's a good tip. Like
Yeah,
whenever I go out to markets, I've made so many good friends, so many good connections.
yeah,
Connections is really important for a business. Uh, but
yes,
but I go there with my 100%. It's not.
yeah,
I'm not feeling like I don't want to talk to this person. I have.
yes. You have to just
I
step out of your own way, right?
Correct. So
Yeah,
come step out of your comfort zone.
yeah.
Talk to people. Go out there with positive energy, and that I feel can do wonders for you.
I love that. I love that. And I think that everybody needs to hear that, especially at the moment, because, so many of us feel like, no, we don't want to talk about our business. We don't want to connect with other people because
Yeah.
what if they judge us? What if they think that my business idea is, bad, or they feel like I'm trying to sell to them? Like there's always these thoughts that we put in our head that generally stop us. But it is a mindset change where you have to choose that
Yeah.
you want to be in business, right? So the next thing is you need people to know about your business, and that means you have to talk about it. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that your husband has great advice
Yeah, he's my biggest
there.
critique, but it's kind of nice because you're just
Yeah,
not sitting in your shell, you know. There's someone else observing with a different point of
yeah,
view, which is also great when you talk to different people with
exactly.
it.
Yeah, no, you do need that. Otherwise, I think sometimes we get so one-tracked with our mind that we think that this is the way. But when somebody else is looking in from the side, they can really help you to see it in different ways, and different
Yeah.
opportunities open up as well. And before we wrap up, we wanted to ask if there were any other tips that you had for budding entrepreneurs.
Uh, so I would like to say that there are really good tools out there which can really help you manage time. Like I had mentioned that I really struggled with it, uh,
Yeah.
but I got help from a lot of markets that I went to, and I talk to a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
now. There are tools like Plan. So there's an app called Plan where you can
Yes.
actually plan your schedules of your postings, your hashtags. So you don't have to physically sit there to schedule them.
And do all of that. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it
Very
can do that
helpful.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is if you have a business, you need to know why you're different from your
Mm.
competitors. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you need to know what you are offering to your customer, whether be a business or a product, and you have to know why they would want to buy from you. So that's
Yes.
very
Very
important.
important. Yeah.
Very important. You have to believe in why you started what you're doing, which is
Mm-hmm.
which is where it'll lead you. Uh,
Yes.
the third thing that I would advise is do your start off with your journey in a very um, positive aspect and a very planned way
Mm-hmm.
um, in terms of your company registrations, your insurances, uh, then also your trademarks. So like which you don't repent
Yes.
later. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you might know overnight you have like maybe 20,000 orders in your commerce website and you're not planned for it. You haven't planned for it. But if you plan that right from the start, you don't want to change your business name, after you're famous.
You've launched. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. So you need to cover yourself for all those aspects. Be honest in what you're doing is how your customers will believe in you, will trust in you. That's how you build the trust to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
Uh,
that's how you build them, not only as keeping them as a customer, a loyal customer, but also
giving them the opportunity to feel, okay, I'm happy to recommend this to somebody else because I can see the philosophy behind what they do. They've got really strong values, and it feels like a good fit. So very important.
And lastly, so the last one would be show your face to your customers. Just go out there. Don't think that you need a lot of makeup is when you will actually come online. People want to see you, what your journey is, who the face behind the business is. They really want to know your story more than your product or your service, to be honest.
Exactly.
Is stepping out of your comfort zone.
That's definitely one piece of advice that I think is really important for people to hear. And one thing I always tell my clients as well, and tell people, it's okay to put yourself out there in front of the camera. It's not about the way you look. It's about what you're telling the person and how you're connecting with them. Because in this world of everything being so digital, there's been a loss of connection, and it's important for us to try and get out there again and reconnect and build those relationships. So thank you so much. It's really valuable advice that you've given our audience today. Thank you again so much, Priya, for being here as well and sharing your journey and being open and honest about, the ups and the downs, and how important it is to think about your business from actually a business plan perspective and not just keeping it as a hobby, that there's always opportunity to take action and get out there and launch that business.
You learn as you go.
Exactly. Yes, we do.
100%. It was really great, Amita, talking to you as well. And if I can help in the slightest way possible with any budding entrepreneurs or yourself or anyone else out there, you can always reach out to me as well.
Thank you. What was your website and your social media handles, if you wanted to share that with everybody?
So we are, so our website is www.naturalphilosophy.shop. That's where we are online. We are also on Instagram as NP_Natural Philosophy Official. And on Facebook with the same handle. We are also, and we've also grown recently with like stockists. So you can also find us in a few shops. So you can find us at, you can actually find it on Instagram with our page.
And so the shops that you're with at the moment, are they more local within Melbourne, or are you branching out through Australia as well?
So at the moment, so we have taken baby steps in our growth. We are just in Melbourne at the moment, but we do ship to people overseas, in Australia and New Zealand. So that's the two areas that we are working around at the moment. Because we don't want to overwhelm ourselves because we are a small scale business. But that's what we are at. And we are happy to let you know that we are actually moving to Natural Philosophy 2.0, where we will have a website refresh and a few launches coming up. Very exciting.
That's exciting. Wow. I can't wait to see that. And what I'll do is I'll put all the details. So if anybody wants to jump onto the website and check out your new additions with the website and your social media, I'll put all of those details for everybody in the show notes as well. So thank you again, Priya. I really appreciate your time, and it's been fantastic to hear your journey. And we'll talk again soon.
Thank you. Appreciate that too.
Thank you for listening today. Like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. I hope you found value from today's episode. And remember, if you've got friends and colleagues looking for inspiration as they grow their business, share this podcast with them. Follow me on Instagram at Holistic Vision Consultancy, or check out my website, holisticvision.com.au. Until next week, to your success, my friend.